Just going to make a little side note here in between my belt change. I don't know if you could see that. It's an arrow. Some belts do cut better in only one direction. This happens to be one of them. Sorry about that. It's got a little bit of wear, so it's hard to see everything. I believe this is a ceramic belt. Apologize for the radio noise in the background, but this was just a quick side note. Just make sure, I know I've forgotten in the past to check your belts before you put them on. Some of them are directional. I just wanted to make that quick side note before I continued. So yeah, again, take note, make sure you got your belts on right, and let's go ahead and continue what I was doing. Alright, gonna do one more quick update before I finish this blade blank here. Forgive me for the background, this is just kind of where my camera ended up. But here's where I'm at right now. As you can see, I got just about everything but the choils roughed out. See if that'll focus in a little better. Using the 8-inch wheel, and then I used my bench mounted angle grinder to cut that notch out. And I'm very pleased with how that worked out actually. Do need to deburr the back there a little bit. But in comparison with the first one that I freehanded, this one came out a lot nicer. I don't think I'm going to have to touch this up anymore. And the key to that was just adjusting my work tables, both on my 8-inch wheel. I did use the same technique for roughing this out. I tracked my belt over a little bit and just roughed that flatter part out there. I was able to get my belt in that little notch. But the key to that was adjusting the tables for as close to a 90-degree cut as I could get, if that makes sense. And I'm really pleased with how that came out. Should be very little finishing required on those little notches there now. So that's that. I'm going to use a small wheel to finish these choils. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to film that. It's pretty simple. I just kind of freehand it on the small wheel until I get up to my grind lines, and that's that. And this blank will be done. Alright. Alright guys, I think we're about to call it a night. Went ahead and cut out those two templates. I got the grinding finished. And here are the two 1095s. And I'm pleased with how this one came out tonight. Maybe before I go in, I'll touch this little ricasso groove up. But those are pretty much ready for the next step, which will be hollow grinding. Here are my two templates. This is the original. Go ahead and set that aside for the next knife. But here's the mild steel template that I ground out tonight. Probably didn't need to get as detailed on this, since really the only purpose is hollow grinding the blade shape, but I figured if you're going to do it, might as well do it right, so I'll know exactly how it feels as I'm grinding. Like I said, maybe a little bit of overkill for a throwaway here, but this will be probably the next video you see will be a practice hollow grind on this. And then hopefully if that goes well, I'll continue to hollow grind those to the point that they're ready for heat treat. And then we'll go ahead and stick them in my oven. I think I'll do one at first just to see how it goes. If I botch it up too bad, I'll go ahead and just send the next ones out for heat treating until maybe I can figure out a better way to do it on my own. But I'm excited. Hopefully that'll go well. So that's all for tonight. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning. Got to get out for church in the morning, so that's in just a few hours now. definitely time to call it quits. Although it's usually, I don't know about you guys, but it's a little hard to sleep for me after I've been working on these knives. I get a little bit too excited, I think. But pleased with how progress is going so far. The small wheel attachment did great tonight. There were no tracking issues whatsoever with any of my wheels. My bench mounted angle grinder worked great. So right now I can't do too much complaining. I'm real excited for the next steps of the process, and we'll go ahead and get those on video as soon as I have time to work on that. So again, thanks for watching, guys. This is the end for tonight. See ya. Before I shut the camera off for tonight, I just thought I'd mention one more thing. I think I mentioned this in my other video, but just in case, I am going to go ahead and put a light coat of penetrating oil on these, which it really doesn't even have to be penetrating oil. This is what I got right now that I'm using. It's a good protector against rust and corrosion, things like that. It's got some water displacing qualities. And whether it's template, knife blank, or anything, I like to put a light coat of oil on my steel. Chances are by the time I got to it again it wouldn't be rusting at all. But you never know. Better safe than sorry, especially if you're in a more humid climate, which right now it's pretty dry. But for those of you who are in humid climates, you know that things rust pretty quick. So always a good idea to put a light coat of some kind of protection on here. In this case, this is what I had closest to me. You could easily use WD-40, Ballistol. You could probably even use like a dry lube or silicone lube. Just anything to kind of coat the surface and keep the water off and the moisture out. But again, going to call it a night here, just as soon as I put a light coat of oil on these blades, and until next time.